This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 8th day of October in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, Sharon Hicks, is under investigation by the police for demanding money with menace and fraud. She is accused of demanding $200,000 from the owner of a security service as part of an alleged deal to ensure the service continues to get contracts from the ministry. That's according to the police. The police received a complaint with details of the allegations and decided to set up a sting operation. Using marked money, the businessman was allowed to make a $200,000 payment to the permanent secretary. She was arrested with the marked money in her possession and taken to CID headquarters, where the allegations were laid before her, and she was questioned about those allegations yesterday. Crime Chief Wendell Blanham confirmed today that the permanent secretary was indeed arrested, but he explained that she was released on substantial station bail and will have to return to the CID headquarters to face further questioning. Hicks was appointed as permanent secretary at the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs in October last year, as the government made several changes to the ministries just after taking office. She previously worked at the same ministry as a management development officer. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Strap in.
You know that it is a fact. The deal on wheels is back. Deal on wheels for security, that's a fact. For fun, deal on wheels.
Republic Bank Deal on Wheels is back. With same-day approval, reduced equity, longer repayment terms, and more. Plus, 3 lucky winners would win $100,000 each. Get the ride for you at Republic Bank.
Alana! Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you.
You must have heard. That's why you're here at GPL. The great news, GPL's 22 for 22.
I absolutely did hear. They're giving away supermarket vouchers worth $25,000 to 22 customers.
Isn't it just awesome how GPL is giving back to the community, though?
For sure. But you know what you need to do? You need to ensure your account is completely settled, while prepaid customers need to purchase credit during the promo period, and make sure that you ask for that coupon. Nobody's left out.
GPL's 22 for 22. Promotions run October 1 through October 15th.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. The government of Guyana has filed court action against U Mobile Cellular Incorporated, which operates a Digicel company in Guyana, over the unauthorized usage of spectrum. According to court documents filed by the Attorney General, on the 23rd of September, Digicel received notice from the Telecommunications Agency to cease the unauthorized use of spectrum in the 700 MHz band. The Attorney General contends that the company failed to comply with the directions, although it was in breach. He said the company and its CEO have failed to comply with Section 31 of the Telecommunications Act of 2016. The government also contends that Digicel and its CEO failed to comply with the directions issued under the Spectrum Management Regulations of 2020, which runs contrary to Regulation 13 of the regulation. The company was again found using an unauthorized spectrum, the application alleges. Despite receiving additional cease and desist directions in September, the Attorney General said the company failed to comply with those directions. It was explained that Digicel's illegal use of the spectrum has affected both GT&T and E-Networks and their operations, and is preventing those two companies from deploying additional services. In the court case, the Attorney General said the public interest is harmed by the actions of Digicel, which he described as illegal. He also said Digicel is disrupting the efforts of the government and the telecommunications agency to liberalize the sector, warranting urgent court intervention. According to the Attorney General, it is evident that Digicel has taken an abusive opposing stance to liberalization, seemingly to impede competition and restrict the other operators from operating in the spectrum that it is using illegally. Digicel, the court action noted, has continued to utilize the 700 MHz spectrum. A service is activated post-liberalization, despite numerous cease and desist letters, and it continues to defy the laws of Guyana prohibiting the unauthorized use of spectrum. Former President David Granger today warned that the massive influx of Venezuelan migrants, especially in the Barima-Waini region, is posing serious demographic, economic, and strategic challenges to Guyana. Appearing on his weekly Friday program, The Public Interest, Mr. Granger said the estimated 36,000 Venezuelan migrants in the country outnumber Guyanese residents in Region 1, which has a population of only 26,000.
There is a very high risk for Guyana having such a large number of Venezuelans living on its territory and not having a sort of modus vivendi or an agreement with the properly constituted government of Venezuela. As you know, in a not too distant past, there has been an attempt to mount an invasion from outside of Venezuela, and it may seem a remote possibility, but the Venezuelan migrants may want to mount an invasion from Guyanese territory, and that could have a lot of complications for Guyana.
The former president explained that the migration problem has become a headache for officials, noting that Guyana shares a thinly populated 800 kilometers of border with Venezuela, which has been a zone of banditry, crime incursions, occupation overflights, and harassment.
This is certainly the most insecure border. We have borders with Suriname and Brazil, but in terms of security, the 800 kilometers, slightly less than 800 kilometer border with Venezuela has always been problematic. There have been incursions by Venezuelan troops. There have been attacks by Venezuelan gangs called sindicatos.
Mr. Granger believes the current administration adopted a markedly different approach to dealing with Venezuelan migrants compared to the treatment meted out to Haitian migrants.
When compared with the prejudice they have displayed towards the Haitians and the favoritism that is displayed towards the persons coming from Venezuela, it is quite stark. A blind man could see what's happening.
Mr. Granger bemoaned the PP Civic administration's decision to dismantle the Department of Citizenship, which was established in 2015 to manage migration from Venezuela. He said by dismantling that department at a time when Guyana has become a destination for thousands of Venezuelan migrants was an unintelligent policy. The number of coronavirus-related deaths in Guyana reached 825 today as the Ministry of Health reported on the passing of 4 more persons from the virus. 2 of the most recent fatalities were unvaccinated persons, while 1 person was partially vaccinated and the vaccination status of the 4th person was unknown. The death of a 38-year-old woman who passed away on the 30th of September has been declared as COVID-19 related. Her death is listed among the latest fatalities. Meanwhile, the increase in new cases continues to worry the health officials. 162 new cases have been added in the past 24 hours. There are over 3,000 active cases in the country, and the Ministry of Health will be continuing its vaccination push this weekend. Earlier today, Guyana received over 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine from the United States, and those vaccines will be made available to the public within days. Let's tell you now that former Finance Minister Winston Jordan is not impressed with the half-year report which was recently published by the Ministry of Finance. The report shows that for the first half of this year, the economy grew by some 14.5%, with the oil sector being responsible for just over 9% of that growth. During an appearance on Shara Duncan's In the Ring online program, Mr. Jordan explained that the traditional sectors of the economy performed poorly, while the oil and gas sector dominated. He said that's a sign that the government has not managed the economy properly.
So this 14.4%, excluding oil, which is down to 4.8, is a growth, let us say, that is expected, that should have been far greater than the 4.8%. The other thing that is showing clearly in here is that notwithstanding all the talk about diversifying the economy, about agriculture being the premium sector and so on, it is clear for everyone to see that in a relatively short space of time, oil has begun to dominate the economy in every single way.
The former finance minister said the non-oil economy growth rate remained the same for the last several years, except for 2020, where there was a negative growth rate, which he said was due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the elections. Even so, he said the new government inherited a strong economy to build on.
When you look at the some of the sectors that have been didn't perform, right at the top of the sectors that didn't perform is agriculture, forestry, and fishing. In fact, as I have here, fishing declined by 6.6% year on year.
Yeah.
That, you had a half year 2020 that was dismal, and a half year 2021 that should have been better. But fishing declined by 6.6%.
And the economist and former finance minister also questioned the timing of the completion of the half-year report. He said government releasing the half-year report in October is in violation of the law, since the report should have been completed since August, in keeping with the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act.
So there is no excuse whatsoever for this report not being in at least in the National Assembly by August 29. Please note that under the coalition government, not only did we produce that report within the specified period, but we had the report in Parliament before Parliament went into recess.
The former finance minister said it is important that those timelines be followed and the law be followed.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Across the region tonight, Cuba has announced that it will conduct annual military exercises on the 18th and 19th of November, leading up to a day of civilian defense preparedness on the 20th of November, the same day the dissidents plan human rights protests around the country. The communist-run country was rocked by social unrest for 2 days in July, with the biggest anti-government protests in decades, resulting in hundreds of arrests, 1 death, and calls for U.S. intervention by some Cuban Americans. A brief armed forces communique published in state-run media said the defense exercises cancelled last year would resume in tandem with other activities as a vaccination campaign nears its goal of immunizing the entire population against COVID-19. Social networking site Facebook says it will begin clamping down on the illegal sale of protected areas of the Amazon rainforest on its site. The social media giant changed its policy following a BBC investigation into the practice. The new measures will apply only to conservation areas and not to publicly owned forests. And the move will be limited to the Amazon and not other forested areas and wildlife habitats across the world. According to a recent study from the think tank IPAM, a third of all deforestation happens in publicly owned forests in the Amazon. Facebook said it would not reveal how it planned to find the illegal ads, but said it would seek to identify and block new listings in protected areas of the Amazon rainforest. And finally tonight, international news. Kenya has said it rejected the jurisdiction of the United Nations International Court of Justice ahead of a ruling next week on its long-running maritime border dispute with Somalia. The Horn of Africa neighbors have been feuding for years over a stretch of the Indian Ocean, claimed by both nations and believed to hold deposits of oil and gas. Kenya announced in March that it would boycott ICJ hearings in the case after the Hague-based tribunal refused to allow further delays. The final ruling is due to be delivered next Tuesday. Kenya said as a sovereign nation, it will no longer be subjected to an international court or tribunal without its express consent. Cases at the ICJ, which rules on disputes between states over international treaties, can last many years. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe. Have a safe weekend.